This evening, suspect caught on camera beating a businessman detained by police. GECOM awaiting information from APNU+AFC on voters' impersonation. Let's be proud of our rich cultural tapestry. Prime Minister Phillips on African Holocaust Day. In the region, Haitian Prime Minister writes CARICOM colleagues seeking help, and internationally, UK economic turmoil. Prime Minister TRUSS rules out public spending cuts. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Berbice. Thank you for joining us. The Ghana Elections Commission says it is awaiting a response from the APNU+AFC on the information requested by the police. In a press statement, GECOM noted that, at the request of the APNU+AFC, the chairperson of the Ghana Elections Commission, Justice Retired Claudette Singh, on the 28th of September 2022, forwarded to the Ghana Police Force and the General Registrar Office the information sent by the APNU+AFC in relation to allegations of voters' impersonation during the 2020 general and regional elections. In this regard, the Ghana Police Force has since requested that the address of the alleged persons be provided. Accordingly, the Commission takes this opportunity to inform that its chairperson, Justice Claudette Singh, has since written to the Chief Scrutineer of the APNU+AFC, Ms. Carol Smith-Joseph, requesting that the APNU+AFC provide the necessary information so that the Ghana Police Force can commence its investigation into the allegations of voters' impersonation. Whereas the Commission is committed to ensuring that the concerns raised by the APNU+AFC are adequately addressed in a prioritized manner to ensure a resolution within the shortest time period. It is of crucial importance to note, notwithstanding, GECOM is a custodian of the National Registrar of Registrants database, which contains personal information on all registrants. The Commission cannot release such information to the Ghana Police Force owing to legal confidentiality issues that might arise. A businessman is still awaiting a response from the Ghana Police Force regarding a beating and alleged robbery he and his son suffered in the vicinity of Little Diamond, the east bank of Demerara, over 2 weeks ago. Sherwin Silly, a 44-year-old lumber supplier, and his son, 22-year-old Darwin Silly, were allegedly assaulted by several individuals with a high-powered rifle on September 28. The incident, caught on camera, stemmed from a dispute between the businessman and a company over money owing to him for piles he supplied to one of the company's work sites. According to the businessman, in an interview with Kaitro News, he delivered the piles in July and submitted his invoice in August, but the company never paid him. Silly went to the company's office in Georgetown on September 16th, but company representatives allegedly communicated someone had received payment for the piles. During an argument with the company reps, Silly claimed he was hit in the chest by security officers. The lumber supplier further stated that after concluding that he would not be paid, he obtained approval from the Ghana Forestry Commission to confiscate the piles. While repossessing the piles with his son's assistance, 2 black SUVs pulled up with several masked individuals and began their assault. During the savage attack, cell phones, a 1-ounce gold band he was wearing, a 121 jewelry watch, and $750,000 in cash were seized, with threats of visiting the businessman's home if he was to ever return for his stolen valuables and the piles. The incident was reported to the Diamond Police Station and both men were taken to the hospital. Nevertheless, the security guard companies were in contact and the owner related that the men seen in the video were none of his security guards and he knew nothing of the incident. However, relative to the social media reports of the incident, the Ghana Police Force has since arrested a suspect. A firearm and ammunition have since been recovered and lodged. The suspect is presently in custody as investigations continues. Prime Minister retired Brigadier Mark Phillips assured Afro-Guyanese that the government is committed to inclusivity and values the tradition and customs of all Guyanese. The senior government official made this remark while paying tribute to African ancestors as he joined the African Cultural and Development Association at the Seawall Bandstand for the 29th annual observation of African Holocaust Day, also known as MAFA. The theme for this year's commemorative program is bringing into focus the brutal and destructive rape of the continent of Africa's people and resources. African Holocaust Day is observed annually on October 12th and commemorates the mass murder and enslavement of Africans. Along with calls for inclusivity and denouncements of all forms of hate and prejudice, the Prime Minister was adamant that every Guyanese must benefit from the impending wealth of the country. The Prime Minister pointed to the importance of promoting tradition and culture as he urged those present to not only remember their ancestors, but to integrate African cultural identity by ensuring that Afro-Guyanese youths are educated and exposed to traditional customs. He further stated that the government would continue to work hand in hand with all people of Guyana to advance economic and social development. Stick around after the break. Fire Service rolling out programs to stem the increase in maliciously set fires, and Mako resident charged for stealing electrical tools valued over $1 million.
Cheryl, girl, you want me? Sorry, I'm interrupting y'all.
Marla, I'm here taking the census.
Girl, you done got a husband already, huh?
Miss, I am a census taker, going door to door so that everyone can be interviewed and counted in the National Census 2022.
What is the census though?
Well, the Population and Housing Census is a count of the population and all the buildings every 10 years.
Getting counted transforms an entire nation.
From Region 1 to Region 10.
You know what? I believe our village needs a health center.
I think it needs some roads too. You see the man boots out there, how it full of mud, eh?
That's why I'm asking Mrs. Da Silva a few questions from our questionnaire. We record the answers and then the data is used to help shape the future of the country.
Oh, so the two y'all not...
Oh gosh.
We counted.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our stores, you're welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. However, Maison Francois is more than just chocolate. We serve lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, and even Sunday morning mimosa brunch. Our convenient location at 133 Thomas Street, Haiti, makes it the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. Treat yourself with the taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown. Only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. The Ghana Fire Service has a host of developments in the pipelines for 2023, initiatives that will improve its quality and service to Guyanese. Minister of Home Affairs Robertson Ben made this disclosure on Wednesday during the Ghana Fire Service March Past Parade in celebration of its 65th anniversary and Fire Prevention Month 2022. Minister Ben noted the completion of the $648 million headquarters at Homestretch Avenue, Georgetown is among plans for the new year.
More training, better engagement, and better awareness, better certification in terms of the volume of buildings, new buildings and new industrial facilities which are being developed now in our country.
The Ghana Fire Service will be rolling out additional educational and training programs countrywide in its effort to stem the increase of maliciously set fires. Chief Fire Officer Acting Gregory Wickham made the disclosure as well on Wednesday on the sidelines of the parade host.
We have been able to do more training, which is very important. Therefore, we're able to build the complement of staff that will be able to execute the firefighting process when we get on the outside. We have been able, like I said, to establish auxiliary groups. Very, very good, because, whilst we might take some time to read the scene, those persons who are trained within the communities, they're able to do first aid firefighting.
Fire officers have been visiting various communities and auxiliary firefighters trained specifically in first aid firefighting. Communities such as Wakenham and Legwan have benefited from this type of training. It will be extended to all other communities. Wakeham noted that residents within communities that have benefited showed great interest in the program. 43-year-old Jermaine Williams of Nelson Street, Mucka, East Bank, Demerara was charged with stealing electrical tools valued over $1 million and was granted bail when he appeared at the Diamond Grove Magistrates Court on Wednesday, October 12, 2022. Williams pleaded not guilty when he appeared before Magistrate Judy Latchman, where the charge of break and enter and larceny was read to him. He was granted bail in the sum of $60,000. The court heard that on October 8, 2022, Williams broke into the property of 55-year-old Neil Wickham of Barnwell North, Mucka, East Bank, Demerara, where he stole several electrical tools valued at $1.27 million. The matter was adjourned until November 4, 2022. 3 men caught with a large quantity of marijuana on Monday at Johanna Blackbush Pole, Berbice, were all remanded to prison when they appeared at the number 51 Magistrates Court on October 12. 46-year-old construction worker Tejlal Tejpal, 35-year-old unemployed Anand Jagdat, and 36-year-old Tameshwar Kemraj appeared before Magistrate Alex Moore, where the charge of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking was read to them. Jagdat and Kemraj pleaded not guilty, while Tejpal pleaded guilty. They were all remanded to prison. The court heard that on Monday, October 10th, ranks of the Ghana Police Force in Berbice conducted an intelligence-led operations at Johannes South Blackbush Polder in Berbice and observed the 3 men sitting underneath a tree next to a blue and orange tarpaulin with several bulky parcels. After observing the 3 men for over 10 minutes, the ranks approached the men and opened the bulky parcels. They discovered a large quantity of leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis. The men were arrested. The cannabis was weighed and amounted to 29,600 grams. The case was adjourned until Wednesday, October 19, 2022 for sentencing and report. Don't go away after the break. Lights flashing red for wildlife amid 69% population decline, and Ghana traders protest against new taxes.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our stores, you're welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. However, Maison Francois is more than just chocolate. We serve lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, and even Sunday morning mimosa brunch. Our convenient location at 133 Thomas Street, Haiti, makes it the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. Treat yourself with the taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown. Only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Cheryl, girl, you want me? Sorry, I'm interrupting y'all.
Marla, I'm here taking the census.
Girl, you done got a husband already, huh?
Miss, I am a census taker, going door to door so that everyone can be interviewed and counted in the National Census 2022.
What is the census though?
Well, the Population and Housing Census is a count of the population and all the buildings every 10 years.
Getting counted transforms an entire nation.
From Region 1 to Region 10.
You know what? I believe our village needs a health center.
I think it needs some roads too. You see the man boots out there, how it's full of mud, eh?
That's why I'm asking Mrs. Da Silva a few questions from our questionnaire. We record the answers and then the data is used to help shape the future of the country.
Oh, so the two y'all not...
Oh gosh.
We counting.
Hey, this is your fancy vehicle and so is your house?
Yes, this is my vehicle and actually I'm waiting on my land. I'm actually renting this house for $50,000.
$50,000? You head more? You crazy? You mad? You head no good? Why you buy? Look, let me show you the light. Come with me.
Come on down to Fabulous Homes today. Pay $50,000 every month for 36 months or until you reach 50% of your house costs. Move in after 75% of the cost has been paid.
This is wonderful. Let's go. Sign me up.
Alright, let me go and dash away your landlord.
To explore our home ownership program, check our Facebook page for more information or come down to our office at Avalon Friendship.
Hey, Chinese, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
You got through?
Yes.
Call us at 227-1380 or 615-8740. Fabulous Homes International Realty, changing tenants into homeowners.
At Fabulous Homes, we bring your dreams to life.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Dr. Ariel Henry, Prime Minister of Haiti, is calling the regional integration movement, of which his country is a member, to express sympathy and request aid to address what has been described as the escalating humanitarian, security, political, and economic challenges in Haiti. According to a statement issued by the CARICOM Secretariat, Henry wrote to the leaders of the 15-member grouping about the situation in the French-speaking country, where criminal gangs have effectively shut down the country by blocking highways to gasoline depots and launching rival gang fights. Additionally, opposition member of parliament have staged protests calling for Henry's ouster, who came to office following the killing of President Jovenel Moïse in July last year. The opposition is calling for new presidential and legislative elections. A new report from the World Wildlife Fund says animal populations around the world have declined sharply over the past 50 years. Populations in the biodiverse region of Latin America and the Caribbean declined by a staggering 94% over the same period. Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampietti reports.
These are dark times for wildlife around the world. The WWF latest Living Planet report says wild animal populations are in sharp decline, and that nowhere is the loss more concerning than in Latin America and the Caribbean, where monitored populations of mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and fish have declined by 94% since 1970. This in one of the most biodiverse regions of the world.
The ecosystems in the region are changing very rapidly, and unless we do something quickly, we can face a catastrophe.
Humans are mostly to blame. Since 1970, the region has seen dramatic habitat loss due mainly to agricultural expansion. Deforestation in the Amazon to make space for cattle ranching is threatening the entire world's climate. Even here, high in the Andean mountains, the expansion of the agricultural frontier has greatly impacted the environment. Potato and onion fields dot the landscape well over 3,000 meters of elevation, endangering animals like the spectacled bear. But there are silver linings.
This is the Puya gudiana, colloquially known as cardón. It's the Andean bear's main source of food.
Restoration efforts like this one in Colombia's Chingaza Park aim to replace damaged environments.
The park has prioritized areas that before becoming protected were heavily altered by agriculture and cattle and that haven't been able to recover alone. We're slowly recovering them now with native plants.
Similar programs elsewhere have proven successful, helping restore once threatened species like gorillas in Africa and Brazil's dollar turtle.
It is important to understand that even though the figures are so dramatic and the stakes are so high, we believe that we still have time to make these changes.
World leaders are due to meet at the 15th Convention of Biological Diversity this December. A once-in-a-decade opportunity, experts say, to implement those changes before it's too late. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Chingaza, Colombia.
Internationally, the United Kingdom's economy looks set to go into recession as the data shows it shrank by 0.3% in August. The news came as Prime Minister Liz Truss faced fierce criticism in Parliament over her controversial fiscal plan, which shook the financial markets. Al Jazeera's Nadine Baba reports.
This was Liz Truss's first Prime Minister's question since her government outlined its tax-cutting mini-budget on the 23rd of September. That sent the pound tumbling and the UK economy into a tailspin. On Wednesday, the leader of the opposition painted a bleak picture.
The Tories went on a borrowing spree, sending mortgage rates through the roof. They are skyrocketing by £500 a month. And for nearly 2 million homeowners, their fixed rate deals are coming to an end next year. They're worried sick, and everybody in this house knows it. They won't forgive. They won't forget, and nor should they.
Starmer asked Truss if she'd commit to promises she made when challenging for the Conservative Party leadership not to cut public spending.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What we are... Look, Mr. Speaker, what we will make sure is that over the medium term, the debt is falling. But we will do that not by cutting public spending, but by making sure we spend public money well.
The Prime Minister's insistence that she won't be cutting public expenditure has been met here with a fair amount of head-scratching. Her colleagues have been saying that there will have to be cuts. For now at least, Liz Truss seems to be saying that the shortfall created by her planned tax cuts will be met by higher borrowing. The Bank of England stressing Friday will mark the end of its intervention in the government bonds market. As interest rates rise, it's spent billions to protect pension funds. So there's still a degree of nervousness in the city. And the Conservative chair of Parliament's Treasury Select Committee now says Kwasi Kwarteng, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, will have to row back on tax cuts when he announces his full financial plans at the end of the month. What the government does next will impact millions of households, and its room for manoeuvre is shrinking. Nadeem Barber, Al Jazeera, London.
And finally, traders in Ghana are protesting against a new sales tax of 18.5%. Many worries they would be driven out of business as inflation soars and food prices have doubled in the past year. Al Jazeera's Gordon Robertson has more.
Traders in Ghana's Ashanti region are closing up their shops. They're sealing their stalls with a red band, a symbol of their protest against new taxes. Merchants say the new 18.5% VAT, or value-added tax on sales, isn't fair.
It means that on one product, government is charging a compounding taxes. The manufacturer has already paid the VAT, the component. Government is expecting me, who is in Kumasi, to pay the same rate of VAT.
Traders were already feeling squeezed. Ghana's currency, the cedi, plummeted 40% against the dollar over the past 9 months. It's pushed up the price of imports at a time when inflation is already soaring. Food prices have more than doubled in the past year.
This week, before we even went to this close down, something was 100 cedis. The next moment you ask, it's not even 110. It's about 200 cedis. How are we going to survive in this condition?
These stalls are closed in protest, but some may end up closing for good. Traders warn of knock-on effects to the whole infrastructure of food distribution.
We are the main distributors in the Ashanti region. And the Ashanti region happens to serve the middle part, that is the northern part of Ghana. And in this case, if the government doesn't come in to assist or come in to regulate the policies he has implemented on us, it is going to get some of us leaving the markets.
Protests like these are spreading to other regions as merchants lock up shop in solidarity with those in Ashanti. Tax authorities have held talks with the traders, but so far, the two sides have not found a compromise. Gordon Robinson, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Friday at 5:30 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.